I've been optimistic. I've set a target, 1,000 fans. We can certainly achieve that. I don't see any reason why we can't. The men are away at Derby the day before. It's supposed to be sunny and reasonably warm on Sunday. And you're not going to get a game of this magnitude in Felixstowe again this season.
Welcome to this Blue Monday preview show special ahead of ITFC Women's top of the table clash this Sunday with title rivals Oxford. Returning to the pod to help me talk through it, Town Media Officer Kieren Standley. Kieren, it's getting exciting, isn't it? Business end of the season.
Yeah, squeaky bum time.
Squeaky bum time.
Yeah,
how are
absolutely.
you?
Yeah, doing really well, thanks, mate. It's good to see. Good to be back on again. And yeah, we're really looking forward to this weekend. There's 3 games to go in this season, and games simply don't come bigger than this one with what's on the line this weekend. So it's a must-win game for us that could have huge title implications. So we're excited for it, we're ready for it, and yeah, bring on Sunday.
Pivotal. All the cliches we're gonna try and tick them all off as we go through tonight. Great to you sporting your Blue Monday hoodie as well, by the way. Top marks for that. Good on you, mate. Thank you for that. And let's talk back through. I mean, what I can do is I can put the league table up here because it's got the form guide from the last 5, but Town's form has stretched back even further than that. It's 7 wins on the bounce, 6 clean sheets out of 7, but look at that, top of the league, admittedly with having played a few games more, but it's the 2 best teams in the league facing off on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you could say that. Obviously there's more than just the
right now.
I think the most informed teams in the league, and yeah, I think on their day probably the 2 most talented teams in the division, but equally I think 2 very different teams. I think Oxford are very, very pragmatic, very disciplined, have a clear way of operating, quite experienced, have been kind of, consistent throughout the years, whereas obviously we're a bit more youthful, got a bit more pace in our team, a little bit more free flowing than them. But, ultimately, it's 2 very good teams and rightly at the top of the division. They've won 5 in a row, we've won 7 in a row. It's going to be a heavyweight clash this week.
Heavyweight clash, love it. And in terms of the clean sheets you mentioned there's talking Woso have put up clean sheets for the season for the Premier Division, both North and South, with Town leading the way clearly with Oxford and Portsmouth just behind. Maybe it's more open in the Northern Division there, but that's been a massive success, particularly of late as well. When we look back at the start of the season, a lot of having to move players around. Bonnie was back there, wasn't she, for a bit? We've obviously not had Lucy Egan for a while either. Megan Waring has announced herself on the scene, hasn't she? But talk to us about that defensive unit, because it's essentially, we know about the attacking credentials the team has had, but sometimes the defense is maybe the unsung hero. If we keep it tight the other end, it's giving us so much of an advantage, isn't it, to go on and win these matches?
Yeah, so I mean, you look at that defence, and obviously Summer Hughes and Laff had been in the squad consistently throughout last year, as had Boz at times, but probably not as much as Summer. And for Boz, she's kind of done the JD, gone from a fullback to right side centre half, and made that transition really well. And Megan being, her first season in senior football at 17 years old, and she's playing like a 30-year-old battle-hardened, seasoned centre-half every single week and just getting better and better. And I think that defence was very much thrown together at the start of the season. Obviously, we lost Paige Peake to Southampton. Lucy Egan was suspended/injured. Liv Smith, obviously being a police officer, doesn't have a great amount of time to play. So it really kind of, we had to look into what we were going to do for the time being, and it just so happens that this thrown together back 4 have been incredible all season, and have kept the most clean sheets across the whole Women's National League, which is just absolutely unbelievable. It's testament to how well they've performed all season, and we're going to need them on Sunday.
We are, and worth noting, I'm a big fan of Summer Hughes. I think Dave and I have talked about Summer on the podcast before. Obviously, huge fans of Laffy as well, sponsored by Friends of Blue Monday. But probably the unsung hero of that backline is Maria Boswell. A few words on her, because she's essentially she's kind of cut inside, isn't she? Right back notionally, but plays right centre back at times, hasn't she? So she's had to adapt as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, so Boz has pretty much just played right back for the entirety of her career, and nothing naturally had played some games at right wing back with the way we play, and she was a good, dependable fullback for us that contributed, and she's got good qualities going forward. But yeah, I mean, we've put her in this position this season where she's become like a right side centre half, as I said, similar to what Janoi Danassian has done with the men's first team, and it took a bit of adapting for her at start. I think she was overly comfortable with it to start with, but you wouldn't be if you've never played the position before. And she's just kept working on it, training on it, and obviously that experience of playing that position has grown throughout the season, and she's been remarkably consistent the entire year. And like Joe was saying to me the other day, that she's playing alongside a 17-year-old centre half. And this is Boz's first season playing centre back. So the absolute responsibility on her as the senior of those two, having never played the position before this season. I mean, I've got full respect for her for doing that, and she's been great. And do you know what I think is the nicest thing is that since we had Boz, we've had her since 2019. And even going back before that, when she was at Essex, she's always been plagued with injury problems. She'll joke that she has glass ankles. But she stayed fit the entire season. I think she's only missed one game, and that was through illness. So, she's overcome being injury prone and played a consistently high level all season. And we're really, really chuffed for her.
Yeah, the Danassian analogy is really good. The consistency point, yeah, always minimum of 7 out of 10 every week, and sometimes even higher. So, yeah, big shout out to Boz there. And worth noting, unfortunately for her, not part of the 4 players nominated for March Player of the Month, but a real tough decision there. Probably I'm going to have to go with Freya. We've talked about her on this podcast quite a lot and made some really strong contributions from the forward position, maybe less so out wide than she's usually expected to be. But what a great month for Sarah Bracera Carrera. Anna obviously scored last time out as well, and Pesk as well, getting back to her best too. Talk to us about those 4.
Yeah, so it's been a great month. It was really difficult to decide actually with Joe who we were going to put in the vote for this month. We could have had plenty of contenders, I think, but I mean, starting with Braz, she's someone who's played a lot more first team football this season, and we've always known that the talent and the potential that's been there. But I think for her, it's been displaying that consistently, and I think throughout this month, I think that the goal against Watford was a huge springboard for her, as was going away with England and scoring against Switzerland for the under-19s. Since then, she's just been on fire. She's been playing consistently well week in, week out. I think we forget how young she is. She's only 18, but she's been a real important player for us that's contributed with goals and assists, and has been really creative in the last few weeks. Anna Gray has obviously had a really good season down the left-hand side, plenty of pace. The good thing for her this year is that the creativity has been much better. Last year she struggled for assists and to create goals, whereas she scored a few that the assists were lacking. But this year she's got them up, as well as her goal scoring form. So she's been a consistent threat for us throughout. And then on the other side, you mentioned Pesk, and she took a little bit of time to get going. I mean, obviously we talked about initially the 2 assists in her first 44 minutes back after her injury. I think she took a bit of time to just find her feet. And get that consistent run of form and her confidence up and her belief and whatnot. But I think since that Billericay game at the turn of the month, she's been tremendous. And that game against Gillingham this past weekend was her best performance since she returned from injury. She was tremendous. And you may have seen on the behind the scenes video a superb assist for the winning goal. And we all know what incredible quality that girl has. She's got an incredibly bright future ahead of her, and we believe that she's going to go all the way to the very top. And we're just starting to see her now creep towards her best. yeah, she's getting there. And when she's at her best, you can't stop her. She's tremendous. And then you said about Freya as well. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a change of position for Freya. So, you know, she's played primarily as an attacking midfielder or a winger for us. But has played as a number 9, out and out number 9 the last few weeks, and she scored 5 and 5. Has obviously contributed with a number of goals and come up big time in some important moments for us. And for her to do that at 17 years old and shoulder that responsibility when you've got our record goal scorer sat on the bench, I think that's a lot for a young player to deal with. And she's risen to the challenge, and yeah, she's been brilliant. And you know, Rich, you said that she gets your vote. I think we're fully expecting her to win it. Although it was a difficult to decide, obviously, who was going to be in the vote, and you certainly would not have an issue with any of the 4 winning it. I think Freya is going to get it because of her goal scoring contribution.
Yeah, really, really strong month for everyone. So I can see why that was a challenge. And worth saying on Pesk as well, you know, we spoke to her obviously last time on the pod with you guys, didn't we? And she's the kind of winger that just keeps going. She's relentless, isn't she? And even if it's maybe not working out when she's trying stuff, she'll just keep going. She's got a really great attitude, and she's the kind of player that you don't want to be facing, particularly if you're a fullback. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on Sunday. Well, let's talk about that one now. We can't put it off any longer. The big one at the AGL Arena. Obviously, we want as many people who can get down there as possible and get behind the team. Oxford bringing a coach load as well, it seems, as well. So great atmosphere, Kieren, and we want as many people, as we say, to get down there as possible, don't we? And tickets are available in advance and tickets available on the day, so no excuses to get your tickets.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a huge game, huge league game for us. You know, we want a big crowd. You know, we've done well at attracting big crowds for fixtures like this in the past. I've been optimistic. I've set a target, 1,000 fans. We can certainly achieve that. I don't see any reason why we can't. The men are away at Derby the day before. It's supposed to be sunny and reasonably warm on Sunday. And you're not going to get a game of this magnitude in Felixstowe again this season, because we're going to go one home game after this. So, as I said, it's a heavyweight, top of the table clash, 2 informed teams right in the thick of the battle to try and reach the championship. And we want as many town fans to come as possible to get behind the team, get behind the drums,
Yep.
Hit any kind of advertising hoardings, make as much noise as possible, just create an incredible atmosphere, but also enjoy it. You know, there'll be plenty of people out there that maybe have never watched us before, that might come for the first time. We just want people to come and enjoy it. You know, we appreciate that not everyone is going to come down and sing and bang a drum and make a load of noise. Obviously, you know, we get a lot of families there. We want them to enjoy it too, but we just want people to come and enjoy it and enjoy a big occasion, because if we win this game, it could be absolutely huge. It could be a huge catalyst for us going on to big things. So, you know, I am, you know, definitely encourage any town fans watching this that have never been before or contemplating coming again. We hope to see you on Sunday. It's a big one.
Now is the time. I was going to ask you about the drums as one of the 2 Neanderthals banging stuff and making a hell of a din. Personally, I've found it really great that we've been doing that, and you know, it's fortunately coincided with this run. Joe, the players have been really positive about it. I'm sure opposition goalkeepers certainly aren't enjoying it. Give us your reflection on the atmosphere and the work that the Women's Official Supporters Club are doing to try and improve that.
It has been brilliant. We enjoy it so much. It's been a huge difference maker for us, and you know, long may it continue. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Rich. You know, there's no coincidence. The upturn in form has been since the support has grown and since the noise has risen, since the decibels have risen. It gives us an edge. It gives us a 12th man, and it has made a huge difference. And at Gillingham on Sunday, where you know, we had quite a large away following, and the acoustics of the stand when the drums were going off, it was unbelievable, and it felt like a home game, and that can make a huge difference to the players. They thrive off of that, and also we know that, you know, opposition players. Our players have said that the opposition players have been whinging throughout games about the drums and things like that. So, if it's off-putting for opposition but spurs our players on, then we just do it as much as possible, because it's been great. And I've got to thank everyone at the official Women's Supporters Club for all the work they've done so far. It's been brilliant. Exactly what we set out to achieve when it was founded. It's obviously not long off the ground. It can get bigger and better. There's plenty more things to come, but what a start. It's been brilliant ever since, like I said, ever since that they've really taken the ball by the horns and gone for it and tried to drum up the support. The team are on the best run they've been in since late 2021, and we're on the cusp of the championship. Like that has made an impact, and that's what it's important to point out.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's great to be a part of it. And if you want to be a part of it too, at ITFC WOSC, or contact me as well. I'm involved in that as well, and very happy to help people out. And similarly for away travel, we're keen to do that as well. MK, big away, following hopefully for that in a few weeks as well. So the Women's Official Supporters Club is where to go there. And all these margins, Kieren, they add up, don't they? And the drums, the atmosphere, it's all part of it. We saw against Watford, didn't we? What can happen when those little margins add up? Absolutely.
Yeah, as you said, it makes a massive difference. The players feel it. They channel that. They thrive off it. I think Joe thrives off it as well. And if it can help us, just those extra percentages, if it can just help us that little bit on Sunday against a really, really good side. We're under no illusions. Oxford are a very good team. They've lost one game all season. We've never beaten them before. Now is the time, and if the fans can play their part in what would be an enormous victory, then that's brilliant.
Yeah, worth noting, Oxford, you mentioned they've won their last 5 on the trot, but they have conceded a goal in 4 out of those 5 games as well. So the idea, they're unbeatable. They've obviously lost to Cheltenham in February as well. So look, there's every possibility that there could be a really big game on Sunday that goes the way of the Tractor Girls. So get involved, be part of it. Just remind us, Kieren, where can we get tickets and when?
So advanced tickets are on sale via the club's ticketing website, which is tickets.itfc.co.uk. It's under home matches and in the tab for ITFC Women. Those will be on sale until midday on Friday. So if you want to buy tickets in advance, then that is your option to do so. Other than that, obviously you can buy tickets on the gate on Sunday on a first come, first served basis. Obviously, if we're going to get a big crowd, it's up to you how you want to play that. But there's no reason why we can't get 4 figures for this game. We've been getting massive crowds in the past. I think back to the 2 Southampton fixtures at home last season. They were, or 3 at home last season. They were fantastic. Big crowds for them. 2,000 for West Ham. With the magnitude of this game and what's riding on it, why can't we get 4 figures? Why can't we?
Definitely.
So come along, enjoy it, and hopefully you'll be witnessing a huge win.
We'll be doing some tweeting, so you can get the links there. And as we mentioned, the Women's Official Supporters Club as well, at ITFC WOSC, all the information there as well. Kieren, thank you for speaking to us. All the very best. Pass on our best to Joe, and the players will be there on Sunday. We're excited for it. We keep saying now is the time. It feels like that's the way to end it. Thank you, mate, for joining us and talking us through that.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, Rich. Thank you very much for having me back on. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, and up the town.